So once again, good morning all. Very good morning. So I already did a cross checking of all of our assignment sheets. So most of the people are doing an assignments, and Sirisha, you are not uploading the evidence documents. Why? Is Sirisha is joined? No, let it be. So team, a couple of people are already they are adding their additional screenshots here. I see only 16 members, like 15 members only. Let ask people others. Okay, so it's very good practice for you to understand Tosca point of view, the model scanning, test development, and execution. Before doing a model scanning, test case development, test execution, first you have to understand what exactly the hierarchy of each phase and drag and drop activities. Okay. So this is also one of the challenge. May you will get a different kind of errors. Okay. So please do follow these things as well. And today concept is here the browser operations. How to launch the browser in Tosca. So we all aware of which predefined standard module we are using to launch the browser.
Test configuration.
We are using one predefined standard module, right?
Yes, open URL.
Open
URL.
Yeah. Open URL, not test configuration. So Open URL is one of the standard module to launch the browser. Okay. To launch any kind of browsers or any kind of desktop based applications team, we use two types of standard modules here. One is Open URL, another one is Tbox Start Program. So currently we are discussing the concept which is related to browser operation. First, I'll explain for Open URL. Later, I'll go with the Tbox Start Program. So we know the Open URL. So if I use Open URL standard model, so what is happening here? So this one is launching the browser, right? Which browser this one is launching?
Whichever browser we are scanning.
It's a default browser of in your laptop. Open URL default, it launch the default browser of your system. Okay.
Anusha, one question. In test configuration, whichever browser we give, that only it will
I'll
answer.
tell you later that, okay? Please listen these points. What are the points we have? Be hold and I'll ask you any questions at that time you can raise your points. So currently I'm discussing the standard module that is the Open URL. The Open URL, the default functionality of this Open URL, it always launch the default browser in our systems. Default browser team. For example, if in your laptop default browser is Chrome, directly it launch the default browser to do the execution. In case in your laptop the default browser is Edge, directly it launch the Edge browser. Okay, what are the default browser? We set it up for laptop configurations level. So directly it launch the default browser. That is the default functionality of Open URL. So if you see the Open URL standard module, which I explained examples in our last class. For example, let me take, so if you take this checkboxes example, are you able to see? I'm not defining any browser activity here, right? I'm just passing the application URL, directly it launching the browser and it is doing an execution, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so which browser the Tosca is capturing or which browser the Tosca is selecting a thing? It is selecting a default browser of our laptops. Okay. In my system, default browser is Microsoft Edge. Directly it launches the browser and it do the operations. Maybe in your case, the default browser in your laptops, some of the people are having Chrome, some of the people are having Edge, or some of the people are having Firefox. What are the default browser team? Directly launch the default browser and it do the operation. Try to cross check that point first. Okay. And next point here. So OpenURL is launching the browser, that is absolutely fine. But which browser this one is launching? Default browser of our systems. Okay. So here is a situation if we don't want, if we want to launch a required browser, if we want to launch a required browser to do the execution. Otherwise, instead of default. So here, Tim, I don't want a default browser in my laptop. So my client is suggesting to start working on Chrome browser, and my client is suggested to start working on Edge browser, so on, so like this. So I just want to go with my required browser. I don't want to go with here a default browser. Then here, this is comes to the picture, that is a test configuration parameter. If you want to work with any kind of browser parameters, always we define this test configuration parameter. This is the parameters we set it up, which browser the Tosca has to choose at the time of running. Okay. Now, this one we are defining it, we are using a open URL. For example, in your test case, you are using open URL standard module. You want to do an execution of your test cases in a Chrome browser. Then define a test configuration. If you don't want any default browser. So it is a combination team. If you are using open URL, then go with creation of test configuration parameter to declare a particular browser category in a runtime. Okay. Now, so what exactly the test configuration parameter definition? So this test configuration parameter is to define a particular value to the define a particular value to the group of test cases. We are just defining a particular value to the group of test cases. And we can say simply another word also. So we are just overriding the project level settings. We are just override the project level settings. Something is defined in a project level. That is the reason the Tosca is taking a default browser of our systems, right? Correct. So to override those kind of project level settings also, we create a test configuration parameters. Override means we don't need any project level configurations. We want the parameters which we define for a particular test case. Which we define for a particular test case. So the parameter name of this particular one, the parameter name is browser and parameter value is browser name. So parameter name is browser and parameter value is browser name. This is what the test configuration parameter. So team, let me give a browser parameter, browser equal to browser name. You can give any name. It could be either Chrome or Edge. You can give any naming conversion here based on your respect to client suggested browser category. Okay. Where we define these test configuration parameter, go to your Tosca. So hope everyone able to see my Tosca commander.
Yes.
So go to your Tosca, select the test case which you created earlier. Just select your test cases and go to here a test configuration tab. So currently we are in a details tab. So click on the test configuration tab. This is the details. Now do a click operation on test configuration tab. Go to here and right click on here.
And the browser.
So right click and select one test configuration parameter icon. That is a third icon. Here you can see when I'm doing a mouse over here, I'm able to see the naming conversion. Create a test configuration parameter. Click on that icon and give the parameter name is browser. Just enter the first character, browser. And the browser value is here. If you click on this down arrow, are you able to see number of browser parameters here?
Yes.
If you want to do an execution, just select the Edge browser. If you want to do an execution Chrome, just select the Chrome. If you want to do an execution Firefox, yes, select a Firefox. Or if you want to do an Internet Explorer, yes, you can do working on Internet Explorer. Okay. Just define the respective browser category here and then do the execution. If I execute this script directly, it picks the which browser? Edge browser. Because I defined here one browser parameter. What is the name of the browser? Microsoft
Yes.
Edge. Okay. Directly it goes to the Edge
Edge
browser
browser.
and it do the operations or it execute the entire test case. So let me do an execution now. Right click. So open URL is executed. This one is launched, Edge browser level team, and closing operation is also done. So my script is working perfectly fine on an Edge browser. Okay.
Yes.
If I want to do an execution for same test case in a Chrome browser, just change the browser parameter here. No need to change the development. Okay. Now do the execution in a Chrome browser. I'm doing a run. Right click on here. So my graphic is not working properly. Run in Scratchbook. Better to go with always use the shortcut keys from your setting. To do the execution, the shortcut key is always F6. Okay.
Yes.
So open URL is executed successfully and closing of browser is also done. That means my test case is working both the browsers, Chrome and Edge browser. Correct?
Yes.
So this is what a creation of test configuration parameter for browser operations team. Okay. So you can create these parameters in a different ways like user defined, system defined, and different ways are there. Before going to that, up to here clear creation of browser parameter for a particular test case.
Yeah, clear, Anusha.
So we always use this browser parameter only for open URL standard module. If you are using a open URL standard module in your test case, then only you can create a browser parameter here. Got it?
Yeah.
Next point. So coming to here, the next point is this test configuration parameter is having one syntax, that is open flower brackets CP of parameter name. So if you want to call the test configuration parameter, then we use this particular parameter syntax tip. Okay, to call the test configuration parameter. So at the time of calling this parameter string, this parameter name is case sensitive. This parameter name is case sensitive. So make sure at the time of calling the parameter. And now one more point here, how to create a parameters here. At the time of creation of parameters, two categories is there here. One is user defined parameters. Another one is we can say simply system defined parameters. Now tell me, just now we created one parameter, right?
Yes.
So is that parameter user defined or system defined?
User defined.
Sure. Let me show you.
Yeah.
So just now I created one test configuration parameter is a browser. Okay. So if you click on this down arrow, this browser is predefined system defined parameter. So
Yes.
I'm not created this drop down list, right? Team, I'm getting some background noise. Could you please speak it? Keep in mute. So see here. This is the Chrome and this is the Edge. So I'm not define these values here, team. Okay. But these values are coming default. That means the browser is a system defined parameter. So what are the values you are selecting from this particular drop down? These all are the system defined parameters. Now see, the browser is also one of the system defined parameter. Clear?
Clear.
So browser is a system defined parameter thing. What are the values you are selecting from the drop down? So everything is comes under that entire drop down parameter list. Comes under system defined parameters. What is mean by user defined parameters? If you come across user defined parameters, if you want to create any parameters for your test case level, go to your test case, create one parameter. Oh my God. Right click on here, create another parameter, test configuration parameter. I'm just giving here URL of TC01. I'm just giving like this. Okay. What is the parameter name I created here? URL underscore TC01. So is this system defined or user defined? I define this parameter manually.
User defined.
Yes, I entered this entire naming conversion manually. Okay. So I'm not selected this value from the drop down. If you see this value from this drop down, this is not available here. Okay. So I just created as per my requirement. So what I'm doing, what are the URL I mentioned here? I'm just taking a copy of this URL. I'm pasting here. Now, I just created this parameter, test configuration parameter level. Now, I want to call this parameter in this URL tag. So at the time of calling the parameters, which we defined in a test configuration parameter level, always use the syntax. So I already mentioned here the syntax. This is the syntax. So what is the syntax? Open curly braces, CP of, open square bracket, parameter name and close square brackets and close flower brackets. Okay. Now go back to Tosca. Right click, CP of URL. So underscore TC01. So team, at the time of calling these parameters, as I said, this parameter name is case sensitive. Okay. So here you can see the naming conversion URL is a capital letters, correct? Underscore TC01. C is here a small letter. But if you come to the test configuration parameter level, so it is small letter or capital letter? Capital letter, right? So, but by mistake, at the time of entering, I just selected here small letter. If you're running this script, directly throw an error message. As I said, this parameter name is always case sensitive. At the time of calling those parameters, better to go with copy paste. Now see, no test configuration parameter with a key name URL underscore TC01 was not found. But if you go to a test case section level, already we defined this parameter, right? URL underscore TC01. Still Tosca is throwing an error message, no test configuration parameter. Then check this entire naming conversion. What is the mistake I did here?
Also.
Small letters. So upper cases and lower cases, everything is a case sensitive. So at the time of calling the parameters, always make sure these parameters are properly. Now it do the execution. Run in Scratch. Instead of passing directly URL here, what I did, I just created URL in a test configuration parameter level. I'm calling that parameter here. Clear? Now that URL is executed successfully. So team, up to here clear for everyone?
Anusha, I'm having a question here.
Ye-
So, this configuration parameter we have set, right? So, is this a meet test case level or particular test case we are able to use, or other also like test cases can use that?
So we do create this parameter in a different levels. Okay, I'll tell you that. Hmm? As of now, I created this parameter in a test case tab only, right? But we'll create this test
Yeah.
configuration parameter in a test case folder level, root folder level, test case. So different possible ways we have. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
As of now, I created only for test case to understanding purpose. So if this one is understanding, if this one is understand very well, then I'll explain what are the levels we do create this test configuration parameter.
Yeah, Anusha.
So clear team?
Yeah, why we are creating that? We can directly keep the URL in that, right?
Exactly. Good question. So if you're giving a directly URL here, let us assume in your project, the entire team is completed around 300 test cases. Let us assume. Okay. So if you see here, you'll find around 300 test cases here itself only. Okay. And let me expand it. So 300 test cases you find here. Now that each and every person is passing URL in a URL tab. Okay. So currently in a testing point of view, we start working on different environments like SIT environment. So we start working on UAT environment. We start working on production environment, different environment. Environment is nothing but different URLs. For SIT, currently the project members, we are using this particular URL. Okay, let us assume. Now the client is asking you to do the execution of all of your test cases in a UIT environment. That means UIT URL. Then what you will do? Can you go to the each test case level to do the modification of this particular URL?
No.
It takes a lot of time, right, to modify each URL in each test case level.
Yes.
So to overcome that, what we are creating, this test configuration is acting as a kind of a global variable. Okay. So if you are having a programming language, may they able to understand. We're just creating these parameters here. And if someone is asking me to start working with the UIT URL, then I'll change this URL along with the UIT environment URL here. That's it. I no need to go with each test case level to modify these URLs manually.
But in test case level also we have to give this one, right, Anusha?
Not
CP, this
required.
one.
CP is a parameter name, right?
Yeah, we have to give that parameter, right, for each test case?
Every time you have to call this parameter name. Parameter name is same, right? We are just changing the value of that parameter. We are not changing the parameter name.
Oh, okay.
Got it? We're not changing the parameter name. We are just changing the value of that parameter. What are the URL this parameter is holding? I'm just removing this value. Let me give here www. https://www.google.com. I just changed this URL now. I'm not changing this parameter name. I just updated this URL. If you go to a details tab, if I execute this one, which URL it launched now?
The new one which you defined.
Google.
Google. I just defined here a Google URL, right? Now this one is launching in a Google URL. It saves the time team. Okay. So if some values you are changing dynamically for like usernames, passwords, for example, if you're working in some kind of manager role, sales organization role, and corporate role. So different roles, different user IDs, password, and different authorizations. So you can create a test configurations here and you can call these parameters here. So if you want to change the value, go to here and update the value here itself. That is fine. Directly take that execution. Clear, Mustafa?
Yeah, but it is on test case level, right? If you have two test cases, how can you change if you change in
Yes.
one test case, how it will reflect in second test case?
So I just created this parameter only for test case. So this is only applicable for this particular test case. Okay. If you want to keep this parameter a group of test cases, then create this parameter in a test case folder level. You can go to a root folder, do the checkout. Once you do the checkout for root folder and go to test configuration tab, right click on here, create one test configuration parameter and parameter name is like URL underscore env అని ఇస్తున్నాం. Okay, URL underscore env. Then paste the application URL here. Which level I created this parameter? A root folder level. If you go to any folder, so are you able to see URL env parameter? Now
Yeah.
here also I'm able to see env parameter, right? Directly I call this parameter in my test case. This parameter is reflects to the all test cases, not only for a single test case. Because I created this test configuration parameter in a root folder level. Okay. We do define this parameter in a different level stream, but as of now, I just created in a test case and root folder level. Clear?
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen.
To call these parameters, we always use the syntax that is a CP of parameter name. The parameter name is always case sensitive. Instead of entering manually, go to parameter and take a copy of this URL and paste here instead of entering manual. That is the best practice. Okay. Otherwise, at the time of writing a syntax OPCP of parameter name, are you able to see the number of parameters available for test configuration parameter level? Select that parameter name and end the syntax. Clear? And coming to what are the locations we always define these parameters? Where we define this test configuration parameter. You can say simply a TCP, test configuration parameter. Otherwise, you can call a completely. But in interview, sometimes they'll ask what is TCP in Tosca. So you should know the terminology shortcut key of this test configuration parameter as well. So we'll create these parameters in a project icon level. And coming to here, test case, root folder, and subfolder is possible. And test case is also we do create these parameters. So the next one is execution root and subfolder, root folder, subfolder, and list folder. Root folder, subfolder, and list folder. And finally, execution list. So these all are the locations we do create these test configuration parameters. I'll show you each location, okay? Go to your Tosca commander. The first one is project location, right? To create a parameter in a project level, go to Home tab. Under Home tab, project icon is there. Click on this project icon. So now the project window is reflected. So this is what my project, okay? And this is your project. So see, are you able to see our test configuration tab to create a parameters? Select the project, click on test configuration tab and create parameter. Are you able to create any parameter here? No. First do the checkout. Once you apply the checkout, then right click on here, create one parameter. I already created one parameter here. If we create a parameter in a project level, that parameter is applicable for all these sections. what are the sections this project is holding, that parameter is auto applicable for all the sections. No need to define the parameter in each section level. That is not required if you defined in a project level. Clear? Here I'm just giving as an email. That's it. So what are the parameter I created here? email@gmail.com. So let me drag and drop this window here. I just created this parameter in a root folder level team. Now see, test case root folder. This is the root folder, right? Go to test configuration tab. Are you able to see email parameter is added?
Yes.
And if you go to the subfolder, are you able to see that email parameter is added?
Yeah.
And Amazon is also subfolder. Parameter is added. If you go to the test assignment sheet, so email ID is added. So particular test case, still that email ID is added here. Correct? Now, if I go to the execution section level, so this is the execution root folder, and select the root folder, go to test configuration tab. Are you able to see the email ID parameter here?
Yes, sir.
And if you go to the subfolder level, now you're able to see this parameter, right? And this is also subfolder. Now I'm able to see the same parameter. This is the execution list folder. So even execution list folder level also, we are able to see that parameter. And coming to the execution list, see, even execution list level also, we are able to see this parameter. So the meaning of this one, it is a kind of hierarchy tree. It is a modular framework, right? What are the parameters you are creating in a project level? That a parameters is applicable for entire project, not only for a single section. Is this point is clear for everyone?
Yeah, Anushka.
Next one is, so this is a sections wise replication team. If you want to create a particular parameter only for test case section, you can create here itself. Go to root folder and create a parameter, or go to test case folder and create a parameter. Go to execution folder and create these parameters, and execution list level as well. These all are the locations we do create the parameters in Tosca point of view. Clear?
Yes, Anushka.
So this test configuration parameter concept is a very important, and it's one of the mandatory interview question. What is TCP in Tosca? What is test configuration parameter in Tosca? So this test configuration parameter is not only for a browser team. We do create a number of parameters, okay? As of now, we are discussing a browser operations, right? I'm just explaining this concept related parameters only. Hope it's clear for everyone. So going forward, I'll tell you what are the test configuration parameters we do define as per the requirement. Concept wise, I'll tell you all the possible ways, okay? Any questions, team? Open URL standard module.
Like what is that CP means?
Configuration parameter.
Okay.
Configuration parameter. Test configuration parameter, right? So CP means it's a configuration parameter. So Tim, this is a very important test configuration parameter. So we're just creating one parameter to define a browser category. That is a parameter name is browser team. Parameter value is browser name or a Chrome or Edge, whatever it is. If you want to call these parameters, how to call the parameters? So to call the parameters in test script level. So always use this below syntax CPO parameter name. At the time of calling this parameter, make sure to enter properly because it is a case sensitive. Next, what type of parameters is available in Tosca? So if you come across the parameter listing, so user defined parameters and system defined parameters. What are the parameters we are selecting from the drop down list? Those all are comes under system defined parameters. So browser is also one of the system defined parameter. And we do create our required parameters as well. That one we are calling as a user defined parameters. Okay. And where we define these test configuration parameters in Tosca point of view. So we do create these parameters in a different levels. One is project level, test case folder, root folder, test case execution folders, and execution list folder, subfolder, and list. These all are the phases we do create this test configuration parameter. Clear? This is a complete concept related to the open URL and test configuration parameter thing. Hope this one is clear for everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next one. We'll create what is a standard module T-box start program. So T-box start program is also one of the predefined standard module. Okay. So using this T-box start program, we always using this module we launch the using this module we launch the desktop based applications. As of now, we all are working in a web applications. Directly, we are launching web-based applications here, passing the URL, right? So if you had a situation to start work with the web-based desktop-based applications, okay, then how to launch a desktop-based application? How to launch a desktop-based application in Tosca? At the time of launching a desktop-based applications, we always use one standard module that is a T-box start program. Clear? T-box start program, and this is one of the standard module. So using this standard module, we always launch the desktop-based application. Desktop-based applications is nothing but what are the applications installed in your laptop. You can launch any kind of applications. Okay. So now tell me, this Chrome is desktop-based application or web application?
Web.
application.
Web application.
Chrome. Any other answers? Chrome, Edge, Firefox. It's
Desktop
all
application.
web or desktop?
Desktop application.
Desktop application.
It's
Desktop.
all desktop applications. So before utilizing the services of Chrome or Microsoft Edge, first we are doing an installation of these files into our laptop, right? Correct. That means
Yeah.
Chrome, Edge, Firefox, all these comes under
Desktop applications.
desktop applications. Okay. So let me show you that Chrome extension. Just enter the Chrome. Chrome is an app. Right click on here, open file location. So this one is installed here. Again, right click on here, go to the properties pane and take the copy of this path. Now tell me team, what is the extension of this Chrome browser?
.exe.
.exe.
Added. 1 second. Comment is added. So, okay, what is the extension of this Chrome browser?
.exe.
.exe, right? So can we launch a .exe files using Tosca?
Yes, Anushka.
No, Anusha. Actually, Tosca has their own, you know, uh,
No means
extension.
we cannot launch a .exe files using Tosca.
Yes, we can. Chrome.exe.
One second, comment add అవుతుంది ఏంటి? Again, it's adding comments. How to remove these comments? Any idea? Suggesting. If I don't want to keep this, find it. So I'll remove later. But coming to here, this what is the extension of this one? Chrome.exe. So here, one indirect interview questions. Can we launch a .exe files using Tosca?
Yes, Anushka. We have.
Question is,
Yes.
so can we launch? They're not mentioning Chrome browser. They're not mentioning any. They're asking only, can we launch a .exe files in Tosca? Yes. So how? With the help of?
Quick operation.
With the help of T-box program standard module. T-box start program standard module. I'll show you how to launch this Chrome browser. So what are the Chrome I opened in my system? I'm closing that thing. So I close the Chrome browser. There is no Chrome browser now. So I'm going back to here. Let me create I'm just going to this subfolder level. I'm doing a checkout tree. Because this subfolder is holding one test case, that is the reason I did a checkout tree. So T-box start program. So remove this test step. Go to standard modules. I'll show you the path. Okay, go to standard modules. Expand the standard modules. So go to automation tools. This is the automation tools. Under this automation tools, select the process operations. Under this process operations, one standard module is there. That is the T-box start program. Drag and drop this T-box start program to your test case and drop here. After dragging and dropping, then pass the application URL. What are the application you created? Just pass that application URL path here. Okay. Once you pass this application path here, then pass the application URL. So here I'm passing application URL as an argument. So what I'll do, I'll just take any one of these application URLs. Any one application URL team. I'm just taking a copy of this URL. Pasting here. So which browser I'm launching here, team?
Chrome.
Chrome.
Okay. Let me change here in a test configuration level. There is no browser parameter here, right?
Yeah.
So if I create a browser parameter here, I'm just giving a scenario team, okay? If I create a browser parameter here, so here I'm giving a browser name as Edge, but coming to here, I'm using T-box start program. Here I'm define the Chrome. Now tell me which browser it will launch at the time of execution.
Microsoft Edge.
I think, as per my understanding, we can open Chrome only.
Directly it goes to the Chrome browser.
Chrome only.
Because this is not a open URL standard module, right? To consider the TCP. If we see in a test configuration parameter, here is the TCP open URL. But here we are not passing any directory path, correct? We're just defining one browser parameter, that is a Chrome. Same thing, what I'm doing, I'm just going to here and here I'm using T-box start program standard module. Okay. For here, I'm just passing the application directory path, entire directory path here. Then after that, I'm passing the application URL as an argument. This is the application URL argument. Okay. Now, if I execute this entire test case, here I mentioned as a Chrome browser, but TCP level I mentioned as a Edge browser. Now, if I execute this script, which browser it will launch now? Chrome or Edge?
Chrome only.
Chrome
Chrome
only.
only, because we defined here the path, right? Path of the application, right? So don't confuse for T-box start program and test configuration parameter. Now tell me which browser this one is launching. It's a Chrome browser or Edge browser? Chrome only. This
Chrome
is
only.
right. Yes. So if you are using a T-box start program team, always it starts the application. What are the path you mentioned in your path level and along with the application URL. That's it. Okay. So because here itself, we are clearly specifying which browser we are going to launch. So which browser I mentioned here? Chrome. Correct. So Chrome is one of the desktop. That is the reason I'm using Chrome browser. If you want to launch any other desktop based application, for example, Notepad. So now tell me, is this Notepad is desktop or web?
Desktop application.
Okay, I'm just doing a right click operation. I'm going to the file location. This is what my file, and right click on here. Go to the properties pane. Copy this particular path. Now drag and drop same standard module to your test case. I'm just minimizing here. This one is a Notepad. That above one is the Chrome, right? Let me rename like this. Expand here, pass the application path. That's it, right? If I execute this one directly, launch the Notepad, right? Here I'm not passing any argument. I just mentioned the path of the Notepad. So you can see one Notepad file is opened in my system, correct?
Yes.
If you want to open any specific file, then
We need to give the path.
Pass in arguments.
We have to give the arguments.
give the
Directory.
argument along with the directory.
Directory.
Okay. For example, which directory, for example, I have some values in my download section level. Let me check. I don't know which one. There is no notepads here. Here also there is no notepad. Oh, here I'm just selecting a directory, right? Let me check manually. Do I have any 7 to 8? One note document is there. Okay, I'm just taking a copy of this notepad. Documents directory. Click on OK. Just select the directory here. No need to pass any application path here. Just select the directory and argument level. Just pass the notepad file. Now, which notepad it launched now? 7 to 8. So 7 to 8 notepad. Everyone able to see same notepad is open. Not only Notepad team, you can launch any web application, desktop applications, Word files, PowerPoint files, Excel files. You can launch any kind of applications. Okay. So I'm just as a part of explanation, I'm just giving for Chrome and Edge as well. Clear? Any questions, team, as of now? Here, any kind of desktop based applications. Okay. Any questions? Let me know. So what are the points we discussed today?
Browser operations.
Browser operations. So what are the, so to launch a browsers, how many standard modules we have? Two standard.
Two standard.
Open URL. So most frequently, we always go with the open URL only, okay? So if we had a situation to work with the desktop, then you can go with the tbox start route. Clear? So what is open URL? Open URL is always launching a default browser. To avoid default browser, we're just creating one test configuration parameter. The parameter name is browser, parameter value is browser name. So to call those parameters, we are just creating, we are calling with the syntax CP of parameter name. And what type of parameters we are creating? So two types is there. One is user defined parameters and system defined parameters. So where we define these parameters in our Tosca, so we always define these parameters, test configuration parameters into these many locations. Next, tbox start program. So tbox start program is a standard module. So using this tbox start program, we always launch the desktop based applications. Clear? Using the standard module team, we launch the private browsers. I'll explain this concept tomorrow. Okay, no need to worry. How to launch the private browsers and how to kill the browser, I'll tell you. Okay. These points we'll discuss tomorrow. But as of now, clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, Anusha.
Any questions on this particular concept? No, right?
No, no.
Okay, good. So that's it today, team. So tomorrow we'll discuss how to launch the private browsers, how to kill the browsers, and at the time of killing, what are the possible ways we do have. So I'll explain all this stuff. Okay.
Anusha,
Anusha, doubts are there.
One second. Yes, Prakash.
Anusha, please add me my mail ID to your YouTube channel. I can't able to see 8:30 to 9:30 classes from my end.
Is it? Have you filled that form, Prakash? Let me check your email ID my side.
Okay.
Email. Excel. Mhm. Mm. So what's your email ID?
Akash.it.
No, I don't have your email ID.
Okay, I will ping in the channel.
You
That
can
means
ping
in
me in
our
the
group.
chat. Yeah. If
Yes.
you ping me in the chat, I'll check and I'll update you.
Sure. Thank you, Anusha.
Yes, Tim, who are having doubts, you can share your screen, and rest of the people, if you want to stay here, you can stay. Otherwise, you can wind up the call. Thanks for joining.
Anusha, I'm sharing the screen.
1 second, Swati. I'm just speaking now. So,
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah. Sure.
thank you all. Yes, Swati, what is your question here?
Here, Anusha, I'm getting a issue here
What is the issue?
near drop down. I tried all the ways, but it's not coming. Let me launch once.
1 second.
Sure.
Wait. What is the issue here? It's selecting drop down option 2, right?
Yeah, but see, I'm getting error.
See, if you're getting an error, so team, arrest everyone. I'm telling you very clearly. If you people are getting any error, do cross check your test case development. What are the steps you did a development? Okay. Close this window. Now you can expand. So expand this below one. Option 2. Again, you are doing a click operation in option 2, right? Delete that. Right click and delete. So for drop downs, directly you can select value from that drop down list. No need to delete.
I should delete total this one, Anusha.
Exactly. Delete, right click and delete. Now do the executions.
It's not deleted.
Development is deleted, right? Deleting is
Okay.
nothing but we are not deleting entire control. We are just deleting a development part.
Okay. Okay.
Before doing an execution, close the window. So team, anyone, everyone, I'm repeating one more time. If you people are getting any kind of errors, so your first activity is here, you have to check the test case development step-by-step process where you are getting an error. What exactly the issue? So you have to identify the issues, okay? Working.
Mm.
That's it, right?
One more question, Anusha.
Hmm.
This dynamic controls, here also I'm getting
See, check
error.
the action mode, Swati. So what are the action modes you are giving here? The last step, what is the action mode you are giving?
Text back.
Which
Back.
action modes you have to select here? What is the action mode?
Input.
Verify.
Which activity you are doing? Are you entering something? Are you doing an verification?
Verify only. I tried that also, but I'm getting error. I launch once.
So team, before showing to me, do cross check your side number of times. Okay, please close the another tab. Stay here.
No. Don't close.
You are doing a double work, Swati. Seriously.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, run the script again.
Yeah,
Stop the execution below.
let's stop it.
Could not find the generic GUI with following properties. What are the control you scan that is not a unique property? Getting
Okay.
started? So
Yeah,
find means that HTML. So you scan that dynamic controls title, right? That is
yeah.
unique. So do cross check, do the rescan and try to add the properties and check one more time.
Okay, one last question.
Hmm.
This website, right? I'm trying to do this one obstacle course. Okay. 1 minute. I'm scanning this website.
Mhm.
This one I'm scanning. Okay. If I'm not scanning also, it is showing error, and if I'm scanning also, it is showing error. This one. Any this website only the problem is there. Some.
No. Here you have to only concentrate on those scenarios. No need to worry about the title, okay? But
But it's throwing error. I'll show you 1 minute. Suppose click send button.
you're not listening, Swati. Please listen first, okay?
Uh,
See, as per the manual test, go to the test case. Go to the test case indexing. Assignment document. What are the steps they define here?
yeah.
What are the steps they define here?
Open URL. Click on calculate button. Wait until send button visible. Click
Then,
send button.
so why you are worrying about the title of that obstacle course? Is there
But
mention?
it's not coming unique. We cannot go proceed, right?
Which one is not unique?
I'll scan and show you 1 minute.
No. What are the steps is defined in the test case level? You have to follow that steps only. That is
That's what I'm
I'm
telling. If I try to do that, it is telling that website the page number it is not coming.
Browser is not unique cache. You are showing, right? That won't be a
Not
problem.
unique. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
link.
that won't be a problem because you are doing all at the same scenarios, no? So it shows.
Yeah, yeah. Suppose if I want to scan this, scan application. Application.
It's in.
Select on, select on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not this one. Sorry, I did wrong scan.
One,
Then select on. Next step is calculate. Calculate button, right? Click on calculate button.
Mm-hmm.
See here, this website. It is not. It's not
Because the
coming in.
two pages are opened in your browser.
with the same link.
Same title.
Yeah, same time.
To understand.
So in your browser, how many tabs are opened with the same name?
Only one.
Earlier it is a two, right?
I closed it right now.
Swati, see if you are using this browser name, you are using for all same browser name, Tricentis only. So it is getting as a yellow, okay, orange
Okay.
color. Once you run
Yeah.
this test, it won't get error because it is using for the particular module.
So I can save it,
Got it?
right?
Yeah, you
I
can
can
save
save
it.
it. Oh, okay, okay. That is my question actually.
If you are using the same browser only, same title, then it comes. For sometimes when you are using two browser at the same time, for second browser with the same title.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Got
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Right, Anusha?
Yes, Narayan.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I thought this yellow color, it is not coming unique. So I thought I cannot save it and proceed. That's why. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Anusha.
Thank you, Swati. Yeah. What about others, team?
Yeah, Anusha, I'm sharing my screen. Swati, please stop.
Yeah, I'm stopping Swati's screen.
Can I leave the class, Anusha?
Yeah, please, Swati. Yeah, I go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mm. Mhm.
Able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes, Yamini.
I have followed the execution properly, but it is getting failed. Anusha.
So you can select this WebDriver browser argument. Select that control. Select not expansion. Click on that.
Okay.
I click delete. Now do the execution.
Again, it got failed.
So this one is launching a Chrome Edge browser. Okay, go to your test case. Have you added any extension for Edge browser?
I was not able to add even that.
If you're doing a scanning, directly it suggests you to add the extension. Give me a second, I'll share you that extension. So I'm sharing one link in a chat window. Please do add extension for that. Click on that link. No matching tab was means Yamini. So if you are not added any extension to Edge browser, it won't do the execution. Directly it show you the no matching tab was found an error. You are not added any extension here. That is the issue. Click on get, scroll up, click on get, add extension.
Okay.
Now the text is sync. You can click on sync in your sync data. So no need to here. Close this window. Now go back to your system and execute the script. Close all the windows and execute the script.
Yeah.
It's working, right?
Yeah, got it. Uncle.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, team. Thanks for joining all. We'll connect tomorrow same time. Bye-bye.
Anusha, please add me that mail ID in the
I'll
text
add you,
message.
Prakash, okay?
Thank you, Anusha.
Yeah, today I'll do that. I'll just make a note of your email ID. I'll add.
Sure. Thank you, Anusha.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you all. Bye.